the north end of town in Willits, you will make a right-hand turn onto Commercial Street. Set your car's trip mileage odometer now. First block, you will pass the No-Yo Theater on your right, and the City Park your left. In the second block, continue straight. When you're 1.5 miles from Willits, you will come to a Y intersection with O'Leary's Red Barn Feed Store off to your right. Veer left. You will now be on the Hertz-Willits Road. This road will curve again to your right. When you are almost out of the valley, you will come to the junction of 306 Hurst-Willits Road and 308 Canyon Road. Continue straight on 308 Canyon Road. You will cross a small single-lane bridge 3.9 miles from Willits and start up the canyon. Canyon Road is paved all the way, but gets narrow in some spots, so be careful. About 7.4 miles from Willits, you will come to another Y in the road. Turn left and go across the cement bridge. The road now becomes Tomkey Road and will soon become unpaved. That's all for now. There's 3 more paragraphs. Emandal has a 100-year tradition since 1908. Emandal has been hosting families and friends each summer. The farm and its natural surroundings are the perfect setting for you to disconnect from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. They have 19 redwood cabins. The majority were built by Al Burns between 1910 and 1925.
Wow. Oh, that's a 100-year-old cabin.
Where?
1910.
Oh, yeah. There's a deer. Right up there. Watching us.
Oh, you did the koi. Oh, Karen. It took everything out of me not to ask you what you're going to do.
This is the koi pond from the Japanese gardens in Portland. And I had this in my mind and had a picture of it from day one when I knew I was coming here. But I really needed instruction in accomplishing this. I started by putting a piece of fabric down. It was actually this fabric right here, and it was a rectangle about this big. And Laura came over and looked at it, and she said, "Is that how big your quilt is going to be?" And I said, "No." And in addition, I was laying pieces of fabric across it for my little floating gates, floating rafts. And she said, well, let's think about this. The rafts are on top. Everything else is beneath. So you have to do that last. And I had some of this lace I ripped some fabric and laid it down, and then I laid the lace all the way over the top, all the way down. And wasn't happy with that. And she suggested many different materials in the water.
Oh, for using the water?
For using the water.
Like?
Well, she said that would be good, and this one would be good. And I'd started with all black up here. So this was the camo material I made Josh's book bag out of.
Oh.
And so I took everything off and started all over again, and started ripping pieces of fabric in different widths and just laying them down. And not knowing exactly what I was doing. And I loved it. Just the way I laid it out. It's all dark up here, and then some of the lights come in, and when I took a picture of it, I could see water.
And it's just amazing. I mean, you make the rest of us in the normal world, we want to say, isn't water supposed to be blue or green?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about these sticks. Well,
I'm going to have to look them up, but I know she said they're red.
But and who's...
Oh, the idea for this?
Yeah, now you had sticks, but then...
I had sticks, and Laura said she never would have thought to use something like that on a quilt. And I said, well, you taught us that we steal from everybody. We learn from everybody. And my friend Jackie Prout gave me a quilt, art hanging with 60 sticks on it for my 60th birthday. And that's where I got the idea.
And then there was a young artist that found those sticks for you?
Yeah, Sarah.
And they are different colors?
They're red on one side and green on the other, but this was the end of these sticks.
Oh.
So some of them have just green, but if I turn them just right, if I get them down just right, they're red on one side.
And you don't know the name of that bush or that they came from? Your koi are beautiful. And the water is sparkling for the camera.
Well, this stuff here has silver and green in it. And so then I cut some pieces just to sprinkle around up here to give this some different light.
Well, how many different colors are there in your water, do you think?
I have no idea.
Okay, that's lovely.
And I even like the way there's nothing here. That's just the batting behind. Just
Okay, can you hold it up? What about your ferns there in the corner?
well, I started.
They're beautiful.
I had a couple cut out, and Laura suggested I fuse them with a different fabric on the background so that it gives them some strength. And so all the ones I had were green, this dark green, and they kind of disappeared in the dark water. So she thought I should have multicolored greens up here, and I found this one, and I like just the combination of the two.
It's gorgeous, and it adds another kind of dimension outside of the water, like the floating raft. Is that what you call it?
And everybody had ideas on the raft. It was, one person said it was to keep the raccoons out of the pond, and another person said, well, and the birds. The birds come down and love to get the koi.
Wow. What a gift you were to that community for a week. Hold it up. I think you're going to have to stand back. You're going to have to... Oh, it's not going to work here. But we'll get a chance to see the size of it. Oh man, water will never be the same. Whatever you want, I want you to hear that part about you and about water and wildness and transformation and stuff.
But this intimacy was only the starting point for Sue's cultivation of wilderness. Wilderness. His poetics dramatically extended the interiorization of wilderness that Mei Yao Chen's poetics began. Rather than consciousness giving shape to the world it encounters, Sue's poems enact consciousness wandering like water, the operant metaphor for Tao, taking shape according to what it encounters. Sue's mastery of this selfless poetics derives in part from his lifelong devotion to Chen, for Chen no mind mirrors whatever it encounters with perfect clarity. But as with water, there is an inner nature to the poet which endures through all the transformations.
So that applies to you and the quilting also. Do you see? All of the listening, all of the being for others, all of the art that you make, you retain that kernel that is always you.